So welcome, my name's Kaz. I'm here at Christchurch University and we work alongside our parks and we give you 7 classes a week. You've come to my mind and body today and we are going to do some yin yoga today. All you need is a mat and take your socks off, no shoes, and we're going to get started. So all I want you to do is lie on your back. Lie on your back. So we're going to come into our Shavasana or our corpse pose. Just going to lie here for a bit. Keeping your eyes closed. So we're going to do a little bit of grounding. I just want you to try and empty your mind for the next 30 minutes. You're with me. Nothing else we can do at the moment. So try and empty your mind and just think about what we're going to do next. So what I want you to do is pick your right leg up and bring your knee into your chest. Bring your knee into your chest. So this works our hips. So we're going to stay here, taking in those deep breaths. And remember, every time we inhale, we have to push our tummy out. Let's make room for those lungs by letting our diaphragm get pushed all the way down. So we can apply a little bit of pressure, bring that knee closer into the chest, and then relax it a little bit. We're going to stay here for about another 90 seconds. So we hold it in, maybe let it loose a bit. We're trying to work the hip. So pull it right in. Focus on your breath. Yin yoga gives you an opportunity to really focus on your breath as well. I think yoga should be practiced this way first because it just gives you that time to think about your position, think about how you breathe before you move on. Keep our eyes closed. Keep that knee into that chest. We want to hold it in a little bit more. Hold it in, squeeze it right in. You should feel those hips. Okay, we're going to do a spinal twist. So all I want you to do, take your foot back onto the floor, bring your knees together, bring your knees together, and you're going to drop them over to the right. Drop them over to the right. So this is our spinal twist. So we keep our shoulders on the floor. Have a little think. Again, yin yoga gives you that opportunity to nail the move. So we've got our shoulders on the floor, yep. Our chest is facing the ceiling. Our head's back, our eye gaze is up to the ceiling. All we've done is we've taken our knees up and dropped them to the side. You can take your arms out. And then I want you to pick your head up and twist it and take it to the opposite side of those knees. Maybe we can close our eyes here. Now we've got a little bit more room to really, really inhale. Yeah, I definitely feel that we have forgotten how to breathe over the last 12 months. All those little shallow breaths that we do, thinking, oh God, I don't want to get corona from them in the supermarket and stuff. We're not taking in, or we're not oxygenating our muscles, that brain. Yeah, we need to take the oxygen in to keep our bodies healthy. So those deep breaths, pushing that tummy out, that's all the organs getting pushed out so the diaphragm can move down to make those lungs even bigger. And when you do a big exhalation, that gets rid of all the rubbish that you've collected in those lungs from the cars and the pollution, let it all out. Keep your eyes closed and just relax. Yeah, it's sunny. One more breath here. And let it all out. Bring your knees back to the center. And you're going to bring your left knee into your chest this time. Your left knee, if you did it to start with, then just bring in the other knee. So again, our opportunity, shoulder blades, chest facing the ceiling. Your opportunity here to make it more advanced is to keep your legs straight. I forgot to mention that before. Or if it's too much, you can bring your other leg up so it's bent. Yeah. Otherwise, leg straight, the other leg straight anyway. So we're hugging that knee into the chest. We've got our hands on top of our knees and we're hugging it in, and we apply a little bit of pressure every now and then. Working those hip flexors. A little bit of a glute stretch there as well. Feel that in your bottom. Remember here, we can keep our eyes closed. Clear our mind. Remember to apply that little bit of pressure every now and then, pull it right into the chest and then relax it a little bit. Pull it right in, squeeze, relax it. Every time you squeeze and apply that pressure, we loosen up the joint a little bit more. Focus on that breath. Let it all out. If you're thinking, oh, I've got too much time, I'm thinking about what I'm doing, I need to clear my mind, think of a good, happy place, sunshine. Bring your knees together into the center. And all we're going to do is drop them to the other side. Drop them over to the other side. You can take your arms out. We have our palms facing up or down, whichever is comfortable. You know that you're here for about 90 seconds to 2 minutes. And keep those eyes closed. Pick our head up and take it to the opposite side of our knees, if that is an option for you. Otherwise, keep your head in the center. Another option here. Yeah, if you're feeling it, if you just want to relax here, if not, take the top leg out and just stretch it out. Stretch it out a little bit. This might not be very comfortable to hold, so we go back here if we need to. Remember, keeping those shoulder blades on the floor. Our chest is facing the ceiling. This is a spinal twist. If we're all over to one side, we're basically lying on our side. Think of your favorite place or a good color. What color do you think of that just makes you smile, or that memory? It's always holidays and travel for me. Remember that breathing. Take it all in, push your tummy out, and then release it. Okay, we're going to come into a more challenging pose to keep up in the air. So bring your knees back to the center. You can keep your arms down by your side or keep them out. And all I want you to do is to pick your legs up. So this is a lot more challenging than the ones we've just done, because now we're fighting gravity to keep our feet up. So we want to try and keep our legs straight if we can. Yeah. If your calves, oh yeah, my hamstrings feel tight this morning. so they might not be able to be straight as much as I'd like, but a little bend in the knee is always fine. So you need to be using your lower abdominals for this as well. Yeah, that's what draws our legs up. So we're working, our hamstrings are staying engaged to keep the legs straight. Working those calves, keep the lower leg straight. Those glutes, those bum cheeks, you can feel those a little bit tight. And our lower abdominals. Because we've got to keep our legs in the air. We're pulling it into our bodies. Have a little look up. Can you see your toes? Are they in your eye line or are they nowhere near? Have you had to have a little knee bend? If you've got to have a little knee bend, let's straighten up those legs. Keep applying a little bit of pressure. And remember that breathing. Keeping up those legs. This is the most advanced move that we're going to do today. And if you just said to someone, oh, I'm just going to lie in a class and put my legs up, they're not actually going to realize how difficult it is to keep your legs up for nearly 2 minutes, which is what we're doing. We've got the strength. We're holding it. We might be getting a little bit of a wobble or a little bit of a shake, but make that breath count and breathe out. That lower back shouldn't feel any pain whatsoever because we've grounded our back in. We're pulling it from our abdominals. Keep holding it. It's tough, this one, or a little bit of shake, little bit of shake. A little bit longer. One more deep breath. And bring your feet to the floor. Woo! You tell people, I love it because I didn't realize until I did this at home, actually holding your legs up in the air does work. Okay, we're going to come onto our front. We're going to come onto our front. Now feel your hip flexors. Oh, feel that bit there. Does that feel, oh, let's stretch them out. We're going to come into our child's pose. So knees hip width apart. You can have your forehead on the mat and your arms stretched out. So we can do a wide child's pose. You're going to be here again, a couple of minutes. So we can take our knees even further out towards outside of our shoulders if we want to. We can have our head on the mat and arms stretched out. That's one option. If you don't like having your head on the floor or it's not going down as much, we can do a 1 potato, 2 potato. So you stack your fists and you just relax on those 1 potato, 2 potatoes. There's your option. Another option, you draw your legs in a little bit, keep them in a little bit closer, arms down by your side. So as soon as you found your position, get nice and comfy, start focusing on your breath and stay where you are. Keep a real focus on that breath. So now we don't have as much room. We're holding it all in tight. We've gone from stretch to scrunch. Keep thinking of that good, happy memory that you've got. We're squeezing everything to work. So we're working our glutes here, those bum cheeks. We're working our quads. Keeping that forehead on the mat if that's where you are. I love the child's pose. It's a relaxing pose. That's how it should feel. Focusing on your breath. Are you relaxed? Squeeze everything. Maybe relax a little bit more once you release it. Okay, we're going to take this into the puppy pose. A couple of options here. So our poppy pose, poppy, poopy, puppy. All we do from here is we come up onto our knees. So we're creating a nice right angle. So I haven't ever done this in a yoga class with you guys because it's not always very comfortable. But we're working as we're stretching today. So make sure you've got a nice 90-90. So from here, you're up on your knees. Your option is to bring your arms forward in a stacked position. You bring your forehead to the mat and you try and get your chest as close to the floor as possible. So this is what I was saying to you earlier. If you want to put your cameras on and have a little look at your position, another option for your puppy pose, if you want to take your arms out, stretch them forward, rest your head on the mat, rest your forehead on the mat. There is your puppy pose. Now this does work your shoulders. If you've got bad shoulders, remember that stacked position. So we can just keep it here and rest our head on our arms or on the mat. But what we're focusing on is that 90-degree angle that we've got behind our knees. So yeah, that's perfect. Have a little look in the camera. Have we got that? Trying to get that chest to the floor. We want to elongate the spine. Stretch it out. This pose is really hard to do with a microphone on. So remember your options. If you found a nice relaxing place, perfect, stay there. If you're not able to relax and you're like, oh, it's a little bit uncomfortable, find your position. It could be stacked. This could be your position. So bottoms high in the air. Pull your tummy in. Pull your tummy in. And try and imagine as if you've got a spirit level along your back. So it's nice and straight. Thinking about that breathing with this, we've got a little bit more space from that child's pose. Remember to make sure that back is nice and straight. If you've got back problems, do what you can do. That's it. Hold your tummy in, straighten that back. Nice, nice, nice. The last breath here. Let it out. And we're going to come into a nice wide fold. Nice wide fold. So we're on our bottoms. Now this is really going to stretch our hamstrings. So really make sure that you find a comfortable position for this, okay? So we want to try and keep our toes up. This is the position to keep our toes up so we work our hamstrings. And all I want you to do is take your arms up really high and use your weight, your torso, your head to fall forward. So this is just a natural fall. Wherever you have fallen, get comfy, palms flat on the floor maybe, making sure those hamstrings are engaged all the time. So our toes are up rather than facing the side. So hang your head heavy. We're working the adductors as well. You should be able to feel that on the inside of the thigh. Use the weight of your head. It's 11 pounds. That's a very heavy newborn baby. Now with this one, we can add a little bit of pressure to try and stretch even further. So we could walk our hands further forward maybe. Or we keep them here. As long as you are giving a little bit of a stretch, a little bit of pressure so that we can stretch that a little bit further. Focusing on engaging those hamstrings, toes up rather than roll to the side. Could always walk back if it's getting a bit uncomfortable. But remember the difference between pain and sore. Sore is muscles that you don't normally work. Pain is when you need to stop. Hang that head really heavy. Be really conscious of what you're doing with your head right now. Have a little think. Have you got some little bit of tension in the back of your neck? Yeah, if you have, seriously, just hang that head like a rag doll. The more you relax, the more your joints will find a way. Remember that breath. These forward folds that we've just done. Obviously, we don't have as much space to take that breath in. So we really need to push our tummy out and make as much room as we can for those lungs to be as big as possible. The breath, taking air in doesn't just, or taking oxygen in doesn't obviously just keep us walking, alive, talking. It oxygenates the brain, keeps you awake a little bit more, oxygenates those muscles, helps them recover. Can we fall forward a little bit more, maybe walk those hands out? Guys are looking good. Very nice. Bring your legs together for me. Bring your legs together for me. Again, we're going to fold forward. So take your arms all the way up. Can't stress how important this actually is when you drop forward, to create as much drop forward as we possibly can go to. We're using our whole torso to fall forward. Reach as far forward as you possibly can. Now, this might be slightly easier than the wide one. This might be slightly tougher. You might be able to get your chest even closer to your thighs here. That nose, is it as really close to your knee this morning? How are you feeling? Your flexibility. Can your arms reach your toes? These are all options that you can try and work on. Otherwise, we're hands at the side maybe, and our chest is nowhere near, but we're working what we're working with. We can here always have a little bend in the knee. If it's getting too much, we've kept those hamstrings engaged, those legs are nice and straight. If it's too much, a tiny little bend in the knee is just as good. Remember that little bit of pressure. We want to work let down a little bit more. And then relax it maybe. See if we can get our nose even closer to our knee. There's some beautiful backs that I can see. Really, really nice. Remember, have a little think about what you're doing with your head. Don't think, oh, what's coming next? Hang that head as heavy as you possibly can. There we go. You've got a very nice straight back, Emma. I'm loving it. Take your last breath here, really deep, and let it all out. Walk your hands back. We are going to do one more little pose. We're going to do the bound angle. So we've really worked, like everything should feel loose around our hips. One more tiny little hip opener. Our bound angle, we bring the feet together, the flat of the feet together. This, the width that you go is all in the flexibility. So if you're up here, it's as far as it's going to go. Otherwise, if we're here, we try and bring our heels into our groin. We are trying to open out those knees. And I want you to take your hands behind your back. Keep your chest up really high. Open out your heart. Eye gaze is forward rather than up. And stay here. Thanks, Julian. So could we apply that little bit of pressure? Could we do a nice little flutter and get even closer to the floor? What are we thinking? What's those hips allowing us to do? We have worked them. Keeping that chest up straight. That spine nice and straight. This is a great chest opener as well. We've got loads of space to breathe now. Another little flutter. Can we get those knees even closer? Could we bring those heels into our groin a little bit more? Maybe. Maybe. Are we sat on our sit bones? Are we right on the sit bones? We've got a little bit of a breeze. We've got a little bit of a breeze. Get those sit bones right down. One more breath here. And let it all out. We're just going to center ourselves. We're going to lie back and come into our mountain pose on our back. So it's our Shavasana, our corpse pose. So just feel now. Let everything fall to the side. Feet fall to the side. Arms at the side. Keep your eyes closed. We're going to do a little bit of a body scan. So I want you to scrunch your face up. Scrunch your face up as tight as you possibly can and then relax it. Lift your shoulders right up to your ears. Lift them right up and release them down. Scrunch up your palms. Scrunch up your hands, your fists, and then release them. I want you to take in a really deep breath, pushing that back as if you're being absorbed into the floor. Fold your tummy in, absorb it into the floor, and relax. Squeeze that bottom together. Squeeze it as tight as you possibly can. Feel you lift up a little bit. And then you sink back into the floor. Scrunch your feet up. Scrunch those toes in. Squeeze everything. Squeeze and just release. Oh, just relax. That feels good. And in your own time, a little bit of mobility. Come up to a seated position. Oh, lovely. Cross our legs, legs out straight, whichever isn't comfortable for you to sit. As always, I'm going to wish you a lovely rest of the day and a great weekend. Namaste. Don't forget to watch our YouTube channel and all the other classes that we do. Thanks very much.